The Kashmir Corps Commander's statement, soon after the comments of Defence Minister Rajnath Singh, has set the cat among pigeons. Pakistan, incidentally, is in midst of turmoil just now. Imran Khan's Azadi march from Lahore to Islamabad, uncertainty over who Pakistan's next army chief would be, or is General Bajwa actually angling for an extension, and Pakistan's Prime Minister Shahbaz Sharif rushing to China. But what is India signaling, especially at a time when India and China remain locked in a standoff in Ladakh? I'm Gaurav Sawant. We discuss, but first, as always, the headlines on India First. Pollution and politics peaks as air quality drops to severe in the national capital region and Delhi. Stubble burning in Punjab. Chief Minister, his constituency, Sangrur. The Aam Aadmi Party blames Uttar Pradesh and Haryana for pollution in Delhi. More skeletons tumble out of Morbi bridge collapse. Public prosecutors, sensational revelation, says subcontract given to an unqualified firm. Suspension wires not changed, only repainted. Enforcement Directorate heat on Jharkhand Chief Minister Hemant Soren. ED summons Soren in illegal mining scam. Chief Minister says agencies are being misused to target him. Prime Minister Narendra Modi greenlights Delhi municipal election campaign, inaugurates 3,024 flats in Delhi which have been handed over to EWS families. Move to rehabilitate Jhuggi Jhopri cluster dwellers. Ashok Gehlot versus Sachin Pilot. War escalates in Rajasthan again. Pilot taunts Chief Minister Gehlot after he was praised by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Says even Ghulam Nabi Azad was lauded by Prime Minister shortly before his exit from Congress. The Army and the Central Armed Police Forces have recorded 176 kills this year, including 50 foreign terrorists in Jammu and Kashmir. The Kashmir Corps Commander, Lieutenant General ADS Ojla, said that most parameters along the LOC indicate normalcy with a sharp fall in infiltration attempts. Pakistan is in turmoil. And in midst of the situation, first the Union Defence Minister Rajnath Singh and then the Kashmir Corps Commander have made strong statements on Gilgit and Baltistan in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. Sunil Ji Bhatt with our top story.
जम्मू एंड कश्मीर के पीएको को आप भारत का हिस्सा नहीं मानते हो क्या? एग्रेसिव ना हो, जान दे देंगे इसके लिए। क्या बात कर रहे हो आप? पाकिस्तान भी पाक ऑक्युपाइड कश्मीर में आज जो अत्याचार का बबूल बो रहा है, आने वाले समय में उसके सामने कांटे की ही फसल तैयार मिलेगी।
आर्मी की पूरी तैयारी है।
Surgical strikes in September 2016. Malakot airstrike in February 2019. And after abrogation of Article 370 in August 2019, is Pakistan-occupied Kashmir the new target on Prime Minister Modi's mind? Listen in to Lieutenant General ADS Ojla, the Kashmir Corps Commander.
आर्मी की पूरी तैयारी है। मतलब जब भी ऐसा कोई डिसीजन दिया जाता है और हुक्म आते हैं तो वो आर्मी के पास ही आएंगे। मतलब ना केवल आर्मी के, इंडियन आर्म्ड फोर्सेस के पास जाएंगे। सो जब इंडियन आर्म्ड फोर्सेस के पास जाएंगे तो आर्मी, एयरफोर्स, नेवी हम मिल के जो है उसको बड़ी अच्छे तरीके से जो है उसको निभाएंगे ग्राउंड के ऊपर, और उसी के लिए हमारी हर दिन जो है वो हम तैयारी के अंदर लगे रहते हैं।
Even as targeted killings of Kashmiri Pandits and immigrant laborers are on the rise in the valley, the Chinar Corps commander said that the army is employing all its capabilities to ensure peace in the valley. This comes days after the remarks that Defence Minister Rajnath Singh made while attending Shaurya Divas in Srinagar. He hinted about the government's resolve to retrieve POK, a resolve to implement the unanimously passed resolution by the Indian Parliament on February 22, 1994.
अभी तो हमने इस इलाके के डेवलपमेंट का आगाज भर किया है। अभी तो हमने उत्तर दिशा की ओर चलना प्रारंभ कर दिया है। हमारी यात्रा तो तब पूरी होगी जब हम 22 फरवरी 1949 को भारतीय संसद में सर्वसम्मत पारित हुए प्रस्ताव को अमल में लाएंगे और उसके अनुरूप हम अपने बाकी बचे हिस्से जैसे गिलगित और बाल्टिस्तान तक पहुंचे।
Calling out Pakistan's hypocrisy, Defence Minister slammed it for its violation of human rights in the region it has illegally occupied.
पाकिस्तान भी पाक ऑक्युपाइड कश्मीर में आज जो अत्याचार का बबूल बो रहा है, आने वाले समय में उसके सामने कांटे की ही फसल तैयार मिलेगी। आने वाले समय में पाकिस्तान को उसके जुल्मों का परिणाम जरूर मिलेगा।
The Bharatiya Janata Party has fully backed the statements made by the Defence Minister.
Corps Commander Chinar Corps, Srinagar-based Army Headquarters, what he said, he just briefed that Indian Army are always ready.
The statements have been made, but are these political rhetoric, or does the government have a strategy given Pakistan is at its weakest?
First it was Raksha Mantri Rajnath Singh, and now it is Srinagar-based Chinar Corps Commander. The message from India to Pakistan is loud and clear. Pakistan will have to vacate Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir. Else, India can explore all options. And if push comes to shove, even military option can be considered. This is Sunil Bhatt reporting from Jammu for India Today.
And the back-to-back statements have Pakistan in panic. They're talking about the mess in their country and the huge gap in the defense preparedness between the two countries. Imran Khan's Azadi March, he's asking for quick elections. There's uncertainty over General Bajwa, whether he will continue as the Pakistan Army Chief beyond November. Who will his successor be? And of course, Shahbaz Sharif, Pakistan's Prime Minister, rushing to China after General Bajwa's week-long trip to the United States of America. Let's get you some reactions from across the border in Pakistan.
इंडिया जो है वो बहुत बहरहाल इस मामले में सेंसिटिव है और वो अपने एलाइज को जो है, और इंडिया इस पोजीशन में भी होता है कि वो किसी भी मुल्क पे दबाव डाल सके, अमेरिका के ऊपर भी वो दबाव डाल सके।
राफेल जहाज और फिर वो जो S-400 मिसाइल जो उनका वो डिफेंस सिस्टम है वो, और पता नहीं ये क्या कुछ भारत खरीदना चाह रहा है, तो ये एक ऐसी दौड़ शुरू कर रहा है खित्ते में। हम तो अपना बजट इजाफा नहीं कर रहे हैं, हमारी फौज तो बिल्कुल जो भी उसका बजट है, जैसे भी उसके हालात हैं, पाकिस्तान की हिफाजत करने के लिए तैयार है। और दूसरी तरफ हम ये देख रहे हैं तो इसको कहीं ना कहीं तो मैच करना पड़ेगा, वसाइल तो देने पड़ेंगे हमें अपनी फौज को।
पिछले 2015 से लेकर 2019-20 तक आ जाए तो आपको पता चलता है कि इंडियन आर्म फोर्सेज ने फॉर द मिलिट्री इक्विपमेंट एंड फॉर बाइंग न्यू मिलिट्री हार्डवेयर अपनी डिमांड डबल कर दी है।
So you're looking at the panic in their voice, especially after the statement made by the Defence Minister and the Kashmir Corps Commander. But look at past precedent. First, the surgical strike. There was no response from Pakistan on ground. Then the airstrikes at Balakot. And Pakistan's defensive response, followed by Prime Minister Narendra Modi's chilling warning to Pakistan of Qatl ki Raat if then Wing Commander Abhinandan wasn't returned. And he was. But the fact also remains, Pakistan is a nuclear weapons state sponsor of terrorism. How should we look at these developments? Joining me on India First is Lieutenant General Syed Ata Hasnain, former Kashmir Corps Commander, Ambassador Vishnu Prakash. He's served both in Pakistan and in China, and of course in the West, for a diplomatic perspective on this big story. And of course, Group Captain MJA Vinod, the former Mirage 2000 fighter pilot, joining us on the broadcast. Gentlemen, welcome. General Hasnain, political rhetoric on POK and Gilgit-Baltistan since 1994, or is the message different this time?
Gaurav, firstly, thank you for this, for inviting me for this show. No, I don't think this is political rhetoric. When the decision was taken on 5th of August 2019, I was very clear that the publication of the new maps, the great blue map showing Ladakh, the whole of Ladakh, the golden yellow map showing the whole of POJK and Gilgit and the rest of the areas of Jammu and Kashmir, they were stark opposite. They were shown to the whole world. And there was a necessity to convey a message, which we did through those maps. We needed to speak about them from time to time. We didn't really do it. COVID came in those times and perhaps the requirement was not there so much. But today, the international security environment, the geopolitical environment is such that we need to carry this message home, that this is final. These maps are final. They are not just in our mind. They are there, very much there, and we are prepared for it. That's what General Ojala has actually said. And 15 Corps is our Sabre Corps. Yes. It's a Sabre Corps which needs to be prepared at all times. What General Ojala is just conveying is a carry forward of what the Honorable Raksha Mantri mentioned. And I may just add a few words here. This was one of the best drafted messages I have seen for a very, very long time. It starts with a heading of context and goes into various subgroup headings to show why are we saying this, why are we contextualizing POJK at this particular time. I think it's important for Pakistan to realize that India is serious. Let them not think that this is a wishy-washy resolution that is there existing since 22nd of February 1994 and that we will just experiment with it here and there. There are hard and fast plans for it, which are all there available, which are discussed every year. We are experimented with, and let me say that we are prepared to execute them at a moment's notice.
So we are prepared to execute it when the adversary is a nuclear weapon terror state. Ambassador Vishnu Prakash, how do you view both the statements, the Raksha Mantris and the co-commanders?
Greetings, my friend. First of all, compliments for choosing the panelists so carefully. All three of us have a similar hairstyle. So that is point number one. But that said, let us get down to facts. The entire state of Jammu and Kashmir, including POK, is Indian territory. Pakistan is an illegal occupation. Naturally, India wants her territory back. And there is a parliamentary resolution, which has been a unanimous resolution. So what has the defense minister said? The defense minister has reiterated India's resolve to get her reclaim her territory. And Lieutenant General Ojala has said that India army is fully prepared. So as I read it, it's an expression of capability, readiness, willingness and ability. It is very different from a call to arms or declaration of war. I think the tone has been set very clearly by the Prime Minister in Samarkand when he said this is not the era of war.
Yes.
And that applies across the board. We have always chosen talks over conflict. Conflict is the last resort, but the message is very clear. India has the ability, India has the capability, and India's patience is not finite.
Very interesting. India's patience is not finite. Group Captain Vinod, Air Chief Marshal Dhanoa had told us at the India Today conclave that the Indian Air Force was ready both after the Parliament attack and after 26/11 Mumbai terror attacks. So Pakistan state-sponsored terror, they targeted the temple of our democracy, they targeted our economic center, and we were ready to bomb Pakistan. The political clearance was given only by Prime Minister Narendra Modi post-Pulwama. How do you read Rajnath Singh's statement and General Ojala's comments in the light of what we've already done at Balakot, the surgical strikes and our capabilities?
Great question, Gaurav. Goes with your name. I was part of most of what you talked about.
Yes.
Right from Kargil to Parakram, post 26/11. I was that time in 7th Squad. We were part of a larger strike package about which we will not discuss today.
Yes.
Then Balakot, I was the Director of Air Defense looking after MRAP 2000. And after that, I retired. So the chunk of the recent operation.
Okay, give me a moment as I try and reestablish that link. So apart from the hairstyle, one more reason why we chose this panel, because all hands-on men on ground when it comes to India's operations vis-a-vis Pakistan, diplomatically, militarily, and in the air. General Hasnain, what do you make of Pakistan's response, given the state the country is in right now, or the lack of it?
See, Gaurav, Pakistan is at the moment really in shambles, may I say. They have really no leadership as such, and they are meandering towards their elections. What the elections will bring out next year, we really can't say. Shehbaz Sharif is sitting in Beijing at the moment. Internally, Pakistan, all the political parties, generally there is no balance between any of them, and the military is struggling itself with its own reputation. Having said that, this is an appropriate moment to just actually place in the minds of the leadership and the people that their idea of integrating Jammu and Kashmir ever with Pakistan, or even bringing about any form of azadi which people may think about here, is a lot of hogwash. It is these statements from time to time which convey this and just communicate it, nothing more than that. It is not as if India is looking for war, very clearly brought out with the ambassador just now. We are not looking for war under any conditions, and I think Prime Minister Modi has made it very clear.
Yes.
There is a two-track policy always. One is the hard power policy, which is exactly what is being projected here. The other side is the soft power part of it. The aspect of conveying to your enemy that you are not, your adversary, that you are not capable of doing what you wish to do against us. That communication is being, I think, experimented with a little more today. And I think nothing more than that. We should not read too much into the Corps Commander's remarks at this moment.
Okay. Ambassador Prakash, General Bajwa spent a week in the United States of America. Pakistan's Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif rushed to China. Imran Khan is seen as someone who's waging war on General Headquarters Rawalpindi, virtually preparing for a siege of Islamabad. So how do you read the situation in Pakistan? Is Pakistan, as some analysts in Pakistan argue, that Imran Khan has damaged Pakistan army much more than India's fifth generation warfare ever could?
You know, Pakistan has been a terror state, and it's heading to be a failed state. I'm not happy to say that, but that's a fact. Pakistan is at war with itself. Otherwise, where would you have a situation when the nation is facing one calamity after the other and politicians are busy scoring brownie points? Well, if they are rushing to Beijing, if they're rushing to Washington, it's their prerogative, let them do so. It only shows their own difficulties, their insecurities, and who is responsible for that? It is Pakistan themselves. So I don't think that anybody can help them. They need to help themselves. Unfortunately, it's a country which does not see reason, which lives in a make-believe world, because there is no connect between the elite and the common man.
Okay.
And that is the challenge of Pakistan. But when Pakistanis who are not very well informed talk of India's capabilities, etc., through your channel, I have to remind them that India's capabilities are not directed at Pakistan. It is meant for defense, but we also have another adversary.
Yes.
So we have to take care of our defenses, and we are capable today of taking care of our defenses. We do not want offense, but well, we know how to safeguard our national interests.
In fact, that's the point I was coming to, Group Captain Vinod. What is the state of, if we were to specifically talk of Pakistan Air Force? The United States has agreed to a $450 million package to upgrade their F-16 fleet. China is giving them their fighters. After Balakot, Pakistan would be better prepared for the Indian Air Force next time.
I think exactly opposite, Gaurav, for two reasons. A, Imran Khan has really, took their country to stone ages. by creating some kind of an anarchical situation, though it is good for India, but not bad for their country. And second is the spending on military during Imran's time. I mean, these are dispersed, but during Imran's time was much, much lesser than any of his predecessors. So military has been facing a lot of spares issue. J-17s not working. This shot in the arm which they got for F-16s is because to keep up the F-16's image that, I mean, that's in my opinion that, America has sort of supported them. Otherwise, they had very dismal serviceability percentage since the inception of F-16. So their Air Force is in shambles, and currently our Air Force is picked up. So with all this at the backdrop, so I'm just a little bit of a disagreement. And with all this is the backdrop, I think Rajnath Singh ji made the statement that we need to now go and rescue our people who are in Pak-occupied Kashmir, and their lives are, I mean, you saw one of their representative came on your channel and started crying.
Yes.
So it is the human suffering in POJK is very, very bad. There is no political, machinery there. There is huge water supply, water shortage during winters, especially. People won't believe it. Electrical load shedding is 16 to 18 hours, sometimes 3, 4 days there is no electricity. The life is very, very bad there.
Okay.
So with
General
that,
Hasnain, okay, so I agree, situation in POJK is very bad, but General Hasnain, as Ambassador Vishnu Prakash was also saying, there is China at the LAC, the standoff continues. China strengthened its position all along the LAC from Arunachal to Ladakh. Does that actually hamper any plan that we may have for POJK?
See, Gaurav, there is no doubt that the entry of China, there are two aspects to this. The first is that the interest which China also has in POJK, particularly in the Gilgit-Baltistan area. You see, after all, the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, the BRI, which goes westwards, both are really strategic highways, strategic corridors, not really economic corridors as such. So it will affect them and they will come into it. Therefore, getting into the physicality of it may be something which may be premature without having thought through it. The second aspect is, yes, with what's happening on the LAC and the relative stabilization of the situation in Jammu and Kashmir itself, there is a thought process going on that we need to perhaps re-establish the order of battle and perhaps be able to put more troops on the northern borders, etc. That's the thing which is happening in progress at the moment. No doubt it will affect the amount of troops which are available for the POJK area in case we have to ever go physically on the offensive. But I think the order of battle between India and Pakistan still exists very much in our favor. Okay. And a dual front war, a two-front war at a pinch is possible from a resource angle.
But would that be more to sort out the LOC, to straighten it out, to get some of the tactical advantages? Or Ambassador Vishnu Prakash, given China's interest, as the General Hasnain was pointing out, in Gilgit and Baltistan, who are we sending a signal to? Are we sending a signal to Pakistan, or are we actually also sending a message to China?
To China.
We are basically letting everybody know, if anybody is in doubt, that India has the capability today to defend its territory, period. Now, whether it's X, Y, or Z, that is not important. At the same time, India has the maturity and the track record to know, and we have not only been advocating that, we have been walking the talk, that conflict is not the solution.
Yes.
You cannot settle disputes through conflict. That is an article of faith. And therefore, you have always resorted to, because it only brings about death and destruction. There are no winners in a conflict. So but what happens is that when you're strong enough, your diplomacy becomes that much more effective. Yes. And that is the reason why we need to have the strength to back up our diplomacy, give peace a chance, and well, if there is a last, you have no other choice, then you have to exercise all choices available to you. That's how I look at it.
Okay. Group Captain Vinod, considering you were there when Balakot was happening, and those were preemptive strikes that India launched without war being declared, bombing Pakistan in Balakot, crossing LOC and IB, our squadron strength continues to fall. China and Pakistan will support each other. Now, you know, the Gagan Shakti in 2018, wargaming using existing resources for optimum utilization on both fronts, can that actually work in battle?
Great question. In fact, wargaming and simulation was what I was doing when I was leaving from College of Air Warfare. So with that as a background, let me tell you this. Yes, there is a need for numbers. I totally agree. But what is the quality that has replaced an existing quality? I mean, 27 squadron wound down and it was replaced by Rafale. Yes, one Rafale can't be at 4 different locations. I totally agree. But the qualitative difference that has come has somewhat, I would say, has offset the quantitative void that exists in Indian Air Force today. And thankfully, in the northern front, there is no much of airbase. Even if he wants to bring, he cannot bring many of his air power against us. And in the western side, they've been dwindling even badly in terms of serviceability, etc. And see, remember, Balakot is across IB. Yes. A lot of people don't know this. Whereas rest of the areas that we stuck, which was this side of the IB. So things are, Muzaffarabad is actually part of India. Yes. Now Balakot is not. Yes. Whereas Balakot is the pipeline or the road which connects to Gilgit, Baltistan, and even beyond, I mean, that is my dream, going via Naltar Valley into probably into Afghanistan, and we have a corridor there. Yes. To go. I mean, it always existed after 47. Now we don't have it. So that is before I pass away. Will I be able to see it? I don't know. Well, but I want to see it.
We will be tracking that story very, very closely. And, as we say, Jeevem Sharadah Shatam, may we all live to be 100 years and a very happy and healthy 100 years. And I'm sure, the dream would be realized. This is Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, entering the Amrit Kal, as Prime Minister Narendra Modi puts it. So let's see if that dream is realized. But Tvam Jeevem Sharadah Shatam, sir, for joining me here on this India Today special broadcast. Many thanks.